Hello, happy Sunday, guys. It's High Priestess Jamila. All right, hello, one EQL. Hello, how are you? So, oh God, I was up. Oh, I said I was gonna get them readings done, and I did. So, anyway, I wanted to respond to a comment that I got, and it instantly made me want to make this particular video about why cord cutting doesn't always work. Hello. I think it was your comment, Ashley Rose. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, cord cutting. People like to think of cord cutting as a way of cutting off someone energetically, right? Some people use cord cuttings for breakups, okay? Um, or when you break up with somebody and you still feel like you're tied to that person, cord cuttings can be extremely useful. Cord cuttings can be extremely useful for if you have a person that doesn't want to let go, right? It could be an ex friend, but cord cutting does not always work because some people that either you may have had a personal involvement with, or they could be somebody who you were friends with, or it could be a complete stranger that you don't know. Some people have an intent to latch on and to attach to you. And why do they have an intent to latch on and attach to you? Well, there's a couple of different reasons. Sometimes that person is either a very parasitic person that wants to vampire and feed off of you, or it could be a person that has vampiric, like parasitic attachments to them. So either one is would be a reason why you would be feeling as though you need a cord cutting because you want that person out of your energy You want that person gone pretty much. You don't want to be connected. A lot of you guys that have spiritual gifts, you feel things, you sense things. And there are some people that want to feed off of that energy. It's called light energy. Everybody has a life force. Everybody. Every single soul. Well, some have more than others, but when you are somebody that is very spiritually gifted, especially if you have healing energy, and healing energy is very sacred. You know, that energy, that ability to be resilient, it makes you very resilient. It makes you bounce back quicker from certain things. Like, for example, there are some people that have less healing energy than others. There are some people that, will have a bad day that will affect them for an entire month or two or three. Some people will have a bad day and they have to think about it for 30 minutes, an hour, maybe even a couple of hours, and they're right back to feeling amazing. And I think that it depends on the crown chakra, which has nothing to do with hair length. Your crown chakra, how balanced it is, has nothing to do with the length of your hair. But I think that certain conditions like alopecia, um, could be a sign, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because that's outer appearance, that's a physical appearance. But if you're feeling some type of way about your appearance, then that could be a sign that the crown chakra is off balance. Okay. I was born, I've had a lot of these fake spiritualists on here try to say that I have alopecia, and I don't, because they're liars. They front. I was born with what's called cowlicks. Oh, yeah. Okay, guys, I'm back. I was born with cowlicks. My hairline has been the same way since I was a baby. And I think that it has something to do with my past life. Me bringing in my past life. In my past life, I had cowlicks, which is usually a European Caucasian thing. A lot of white people have cowlicks. So I was born that way. So a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? But I'm connected to God. So your crown chakra is your God connection. It connects you to the most high, or either what they call universe, okay? But getting back on the subject that I was on, okay? The reason why sometimes cord cuttings doesn't work on some people, in one case, would be your twin flame or your soulmate. You can't cord cut from your twin flame or your soulmate. You can't do it, especially your twin flame. So, but when you got somebody that is in your energy, somebody that wants to take your energy or your life force, a cord cutting is not going to be strong enough. Right. And people can do spells on your, yeah. Yeah, people can put spells on your hair and make your hair fall off, or either make it not grow, or either stress. If you got somebody that's stressing you out, If you're under a lot of stress, that can hinder hair growth. Yes, it can. But energy harvesting can hinder hair growth as well if somebody's harvesting your energy. And energy harvesting is very, very real. Guess who gets energy harvested off of a lot? My sisters, all my sisters who are witches. Witches get energy harvested off of a lot. Okay. Now, I've collected a lot of information to where I feel that my first book that I write should be about demons disguising themselves as witches, or either demonic people disguising themselves as witches. Because witches, for some reason, we just have a tendency to look younger for our age, our whole life. If you sometimes if you look at your grandmother or your great grandmother, she just when she passed on, when she passed on, her skin just looked smooth and she just looked young. You know what I'm saying? So witches have a tendency to look young for their age. They always look younger than their actual age. Okay. And I'm talking about the skin, the eyes. I mean, when people start showing signs of aging, that's just a part of life. Witches have that issue too, right? But witches have a tendency to look young for their age. Doesn't matter what race, doesn't matter what, because, we've seen people that have had plastic surgery versus people that, and some people that had plastic surgery, they start looking very, very, I don't want to say old, but they just start looking aged. There's nothing wrong with looking aged. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just a fact that witches typically look younger than their age. They do. And that's even a beauty or an enchantment. That's an enchantment to look younger. That's one of the enchantments that witches can have. So witches get fed off of more than anybody. I'm gonna tell you something. It's all about when you got somebody that wants to be in your energy, it is because they want to take something from you. And what good is a cord cutting if that person is reattaching those cords every single day? And it does have something to do with your sleep cycles. It does. They always say it's the witches, it's the witches, it's witching hour, it's 3 a.m., it's 4 a.m., it's 5 a.m. Yeah, those are witching hours. Yes. However, though, because those are the hours that witches get fed up on. And you have to know how to protect yourself. You have to know how to protect yourself when you're asleep at night, especially if you are a witch. Because there are people that want to feed off of your enchantments and the gifts that you have been given. And sometimes a cord cutting, a person that wants to be in your energy and suck and siphon off of your energy, they're either going to do it a little at a time every day, or they are going to do it once every moon cycle. They may do it on the full moon. They may do it on the new moon. Okay. So when it comes to cord cuttings, sometimes a cord cutting is not appropriate and sometimes it is. This is the reason why the cards, the oracles that I believe witches have created, A lot of these authors of these cards, like my energy oracle cards, if I wanted to get advice on how to deal with somebody that is siphoning off of your energy, or somebody that you just need a cord cutting from, it's going to show up in the cards. But I've been able to feel this energy sometimes when you guys have an entity attachment. Okay, sometimes when you guys have an entity attachment, I can feel it, because what it will do is it'll immediately try to attach to my energy during your reading, and I can feel it. It feels like it's pulling. And see, you got to be somebody. I'm very in tune with my body. Always have been. Always have been very in tune. So I can tell when something's happening. So that means that my entire life I've been in tune with my own body. When I developed my gifts, when my gifts emerged as a witch, that means that I can sense things spiritually very easily. So what ends up happening is that one person gets something attached to them, right? And they have no idea how to get rid of it, because you can get rid of it. That person is going to go attach to another person, and they're going to attach to that person. And then that person's going to attach to somebody else. And the next thing you know, you got an entire chain. You got an entire chain. It's a link to that chain, to that one person sometimes. And then sometimes that person figures this out. They know this about themselves. And so what they will do is they will take that sometimes. Thank you, Jan Jetty. They will take that sometimes and they will use it, or try to use it to their advantage. So sometimes you can have a person that has that kind of entity attachment, parasitic attachment, that will try to attach to the people around you. This is the reason why people that have these entity attachments will attach to those around you. They'll want some kind of link to you so that they can link to that person and then come and siphon your energy. And this is something that is very, very complicated, very, very, oh my God, it's like something that takes a while. So a lot of you guys have to watch the people around you. You have to watch who's trying to connect to your children. They may try to connect to your children. They may try to connect to your mother. They may try to connect to your father. They may try to connect to your ancestors, because these people know how to read your Akashic records. Akashic records is not just your it's your entire history. The Akashic records is the entire history of your soul. And if you have all these spirits around you that are protecting you, that have money, that have all these things, love, if you have a lot of loving spirits, when people read your Akashic records, the people that have decided, because they was at that crossroads at some point, and they decided, I would rather be a curse to people than a blessing. And it just is what it is. And these people that are like that, they want to be connected to your source. Everybody has their own source. I always say this, everybody has their own earth, to where different realities are happening in their own earth. Even though it seems like you're walking on the same planet with some of these people, everybody is not on the same frequency, or the same, or in the same reality. Because in the reality where I'm at, if you think that you are a person that is going to attach to another person and take everything from them, in my reality, you got to be dealt with. Oh, and you get dealt with. And you'll get dealt with. So cord cuttings, unbindings, which is a lot stronger than a cord cutting. Okay. To unbind yourself from somebody is very different from cutting the cord, because cords can be created again. And a lot of the times, y'all are cord cutting from the wrong people. Sometimes y'all want to cord cut from your ex-husband, but you got children with your ex-husband, so you need his energy. Sometimes y'all want to cord cut from, like I said, your twin flame or your soulmate. That's impossible. You can never cord cut from your twin flame or your soulmate. And I think the twin flame phenomenon should be handled by people who are honest and trustworthy, that are honest with themselves, that have done research on twin flames. So it's a real phenomenon that there's a person that you are half of their soul. Your soul has been split in half with this person. It just is what it is. And would I suggest cutting the cord or from your twin flame? No, no. But some people have to, because it depends on the circumstances of their life, depends on what they can handle. It depends on the energy of your twin flame, what they're going through, what they're dealing with. So this is something that shouldn't be handled. You gotta, if you are a twin, which everybody is not a twin. Everybody doesn't have a twin flame. That's a very special thing. And if you do have a twin flame, you have to be careful who you go and get spiritual advice about that from. Okay? You have to be very careful, because people out here, they're operating on a very narcissistic frequency, and they'll make your situation worse. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. But when it comes to needing to cord cut from a person, the persons or people or type of entities that you need to cord cut from are the people that make you feel sick. They don't make you feel good. It's something that bothers you about that person, and this is typically a person. And one of the things that you can tell is that it's impossible for them to have long term connections. And if they do have long term connections, that type of person, the people around them are going to suffer tragic fates. But they can't have long term friendships. You know how you can say, oh, I was friends with this person for 10 years, or even 5 years, or even several years. I was in a relationship with this person for 2 years. People like that can only stay in relationships or be friends for 3 months, and then it's going to start tearing itself down, because that person, the other person that's being energy harvested off of, is going to all of a sudden feel the need to get away from that person. Okay. So there's a lot of people out there that do have entity attachments that feed on other people around them. But there are some people who embrace and merge themselves with these entities, which to me it doesn't make any sense because it's a life of loneliness. It's a destitute life because everything that they try to do ends up in failure. Everything. They wouldn't be able to say, oh, I was doing this consistently for 10 years. No, because those entity attachments are going to destroy everything. These are the ones that are connected to you. It has nothing to do with people on the outside of you. So, for example, they can't say, oh, I had to work with a client for a year. Some of these cases that us witches work with y'all on, y'all have to be with us for a year or 6 months, or they have people that come to them for years and years and years. Oh, I've been going to her for years for my spiritual needs, or I've been going to him for years. Okay, so people like that rarely do they have long-term connections, but that's not always a symptom because sometimes they'll get other people in on it. They'll explain to them who they are and what they have, and you have to be careful because these people, they are people. They appear to be human, but it's almost like they're feeding a wormhole or something. It's weird because where is all that energy going? Where is all that energy going? So, cord cutting, the point that I'm making is that cord cutting is not strong enough sometimes because, they can create cords to you. Some of them are so good at their craft. This has nothing to do with witchcraft. Nothing. That's not witchcraft. Witches don't need to do that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Witches, what brings so much hatred and jealousy and mystery to the witches is because we are connected to all things, including every single planet. Our chakras don't even work the same as everybody else's. So we're different. And especially, I feel that witches should be supported, especially if we're out here helping people. We should not be hung and burned and spit on and have rotten tomatoes thrown at us because we are the connection to the divine, especially those of us that dwell in the divine and we go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And we're not afraid to bring that energy or that information to the world. So people that attack witches, uh-uh, I don't feel that they can be trusted. Especially a lot of you guys that you go to witches and they helped you. Soon as that witch started doing work on you, you got to feeling better and you knew it. And then somebody came to you and tried to hate on that situation. So, that's why I said it's a very secretive relationship. It's a secret, especially when you're seeing the right witch, because witches are not going to siphon energy off of you. That is a lie. Now there are some that's the now when I came and I spoke to you guys about some of you guys going to people and paying somebody 30 grand and getting no results because you were not dealing with a witch. You were dealing with one of probably somebody that is an advanced form of an energy harvester, vampiric type of energy. Okay. And they do take away from the witches. It's one of the reasons why This is one of the reasons why witches have to join hands, man, because they do take away from us, and they take away from the general public. They take away from people, because, and those are a lot of your frauds. Oh, send me 30, 40, 50 grand and I'll make that happen for you. And I've had quite a few high profile clients, and I don't charge them any more than I charge anybody else. So sometimes I'm gonna tell you what it is. Cord cutting. No. You have to have something and things that are of the earth. And it takes time to get rid of it. To get rid of that fucker that's in your energy that they just constantly trying to, and the way that they do it is they try to get your attention. They want your attention. They try to convince themselves that they are connected to deities such as Lilith, Sekhmet. No, they are not. This is something else. Lilith and Sekhmet would not do that. In fact, Lilith and Sekhmet will be your guardians. They will help you. They always try to connect themselves with the goddesses or the witches, and that's not what that is. What it is probably a person that needs a cleanse. That's what you're dealing with. Is a person that needs a cleanse, that needs to get rid of their energy attachments, but they don't want to do it. Because sometimes that attachment can have the claws so deep in that person that they think they're going to die if they get rid of it. But they're going to die anyway. They're going to die anyway with something like that attached to them. Well, Ashley Rose, you're very lucky to get more energy around the new moon and the full moon. Because some people are being energy harvested around that time and they don't even know it. And when YouTube blacklisted me, because I actually got blacklisted, which was, you think that that was good for the world? No, it wasn't. It wasn't when YouTube blacklisted me, because a lot of people started getting the wrong information. Yeah, if you, okay, let's say that you just need a little bit of extra rest. Okay. But if you so tired, you can't get out of bed and you can't get nothing together and you can't think straight, you can't do none of that stuff, something is wrong with that. Something's wrong. You're not supposed to be feeling old at the age of 40 or 35. So I got blacklisted on some kind of stupid technicality, or maybe they was in on it. I don't know, but it led a lot of people astray because those people are just somewhere getting fed off of. It's sad. Especially a lot of my witches, a lot of my sisters. We're all sisters. Every witch, we all have something in common. So that's just real sad. Okay. Sometimes you got to do death magic on them too. Somebody that won't stop pulling on your energy, that's when a witch is going to pull out the graveyard dirt, or either regular dirt, earthworms. They're going to get worms. They're going to get dirt. They're going to get graveyard dirt, because we got to go real deep on this. When a person refuses to stop feeding off of you at any moment, and I don't care what it is. It can be a reptilian, every single thing that they fear on this planet, the witches got it. The witches got it. Everything that they fear on this planet, the witches have it covered. So that's why they doing themselves a disservice. A lot of us really don't even they be talking about this heaven and hell thing. We ain't got heaven or hell. What is that? There's a place that witches go to, I believe, and I believe it's connected to the magic realm. I know it sounds like I'm telling fairy tales, but it just is what it is. And when it comes to somebody that's trying to take everything from you, your life force, cord cutting probably ain't gonna do nothing. It's not gonna be strong enough. It'll work for maybe a few hours. It'll work for maybe 24 hours. But if you got somebody that has an intent to feed off of your energy, you're gonna have to have something stronger than that. And really what you have that is stronger is not necessarily just physical. Yes, we do need physical dirt. Yes, we do need physical sulfur. We need brimstone for that. We need salt, camphor, things of that nature. But you need wisdom, is what you need, is wisdom. And wisdom ain't common. Common sense ain't common. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this because, guys, a lot of y'all ain't gonna realize that you're getting fed on until it's too late. And you got to keep in touch with your ancestors and your spirit guides about that, because guess what happens? Guess what happens? People like that will feed off of you for years until your spirit guides will say, up, no more. You start having these signs and symptoms that you're being fed on. When you're young, when you're very young and you're like, even when you're a baby, but as I've seen, oh my God, I've seen these people, I've seen them feed off of little babies. I've seen them. Cradle cap is a symptom of somebody feeding off of your baby. Okay. Cradle cap. Believe it or not, that's a physical symptom of someone harnessing energy off of your baby. Okay. But when you're like a teenager or in your 20s or in your mid 30s, you don't realize it. It doesn't become obvious to you until you get in your 40s. But then and I had never heard of this, to where people feel, who said that when you get in your 40s you're supposed to be tired? Not That's not y'all. No, you're not supposed to feel old in your 30s and 40s. That means that your energy is being depleted. Why are so many people low on iron? We can assume that it's because the food is inorganic, but iron and things like CoQ10 and uh what's that other potassium, magnesium, collagen, all of that is already naturally occurring in your body. Why are people losing those things in their 20s? And see, the medical industry, they're not really going to be able to tell you why that's happening. Okay, well, you're anemic. I noticed that your iron levels are low. Why would my iron levels be low? I mean, damn going to the doctor and them telling you you got cancer. Shit. Why are my iron levels low? Why would something that's naturally occurring in my body be low? Why would that make any sense? Well, and women typically, the doctors will say, well, it's because you're a woman and you have a period. But my body is designed to have a period every month. My body's designed to have a period. What are you talking about? So these are things that we see is normalized. And I'm not saying anything about the medical industry. I'm just saying that it doesn't make any sense for somebody to be low on iron. And low iron, low potassium, low CoQ10, these vitamins that you can be deficient on that are naturally occurring in the body, they can cause you to have all kind of strokes, heart attacks, aneurysms, cancers. So what is it that's feeding off of us? It's parasites. Some people walking around here are parasitic. Now why they don't want y'all to know that? You know, this is one of the reasons why when I come on here and I talk to my sister and my fellow witches, and I've had my fellow witches turn on me. Like, what's wrong? So a few years ago, when I realized that it was, energy harvesting, and I've made several videos about this, several very good videos talking about this, and coincidentally, those are some of my most viewed videos, but YouTube still has me blacklisted for some reason. They have my channel blacklisted. I have to literally go through changes to even get visualization on my channel. Why does YouTube support channels that are trying to energy harvest off of witches? Why do they support those channels? Why are witches being discriminated against every single day? And that's just another fight that we're gonna have to fight the good fight, and that don't have nothing to do with race. So the worldly agenda, a lot of witches are looking at it, and it's kind of like we look at everybody else that are caught up in these worldly agendas. We don't look at them as wise people, because those agendas is they feed through everything. You know what I'm saying? And like it's a lot of them. It's not they're still a minority. I believe it's a whole other race of people, and they hate all of us, including witches. They don't like none of us. They don't like witches, they don't like Christians, they don't like none of us. But they will adapt and latch on to certain things so that they can hide behind, you know what I'm saying, so that they can hide behind their agenda. So I do believe these are a race of people, and I believe that their bloodline has been watered down a whole lot. But I think that at the end of the day, it possibly could be connected to a subspecies of reptilians, but because it's strange the way that they feed, and the way that they feed out in the open. Like they'll openly be on a feeding campaign against people, and other people will just be like mesmerized by them. They'll be going along with it. Y'all notice that? How they will blatantly do some stupid stuff and be on some real, real evil stuff. And it'll be like a crowd of people mesmerized by this type of person. They will obviously be trying to feed and siphon off of people. And other people be like, yeah, uh-huh, yeah, you go, girl. Ooh, you go, boy. Yeah. They'll have and I'm like, I'm like, do these people know what this person is up to? Protect your energy. Protect your god dang energy, man. Protect it. Protect your energy. There are a lot of signs and symptoms. Okay, of that. And part of one of the signs and symptoms is not being able to sleep at night at all, because that's when they feed at night. And they're not vampires. That's not a vampire. In fact, vampires is one of their common enemies. This is a parasite. Very, very similar. Garlic does not work on them. If you're dealing with a normal run of the mill psychic vampire, that's different. A psychic vampire isn't even the same thing. And I believe that they have like these invisible strings and cords. They're little tiny small ones, very thin cords that they will attach to either you or your children or you. I mean, they will attach to your deceased relatives. Like what because people are not necessarily just a flesh bag. People, even in death, are energy. People are energy. We're all energy. Nothing ever dies, right? Well, presumably nothing never dies. But yeah, when it comes to that type of energetic parasite that's feeding off of you, just doing a normal core cutting is not going to work. It'll work, like I said, temporarily, but you're going to have to come up with a more permanent solution. You're going to have to come up with a more permanent solution, which is going to involve graveyard dirt, a coffin, maybe a poppet. And people like that, they're going to be scared of witches. They're not going to even let a witch in their house. That's how you can tell. They have been already told down their bloodline to not trust witches, because if a witch gets a hold of a personal item, and some of them will give their personal items unknowingly, unwittingly, you get a personal item of that person, it can make it stronger, but you really, depending on the witch, you don't need no personal item to make a good poppet. Take that poppet, bury it, buried in the cemetery. So you have to have more of a permanent solution. I don't want this person nowhere near me, nowhere near my energy. They are dead to me. They can even be up walking around somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And their consciousness is so inhumane. It's, people that have been affected by them do the most evil. But if you get affected by them, you can always cleanse yourself. I've seen it. I've seen it. And that's where you do need hope. When it comes to your loved ones and trying to get them away from situations like that, yeah, you do need to have hope for your own people and the people that you care about, because they have to get out of that energy and they have to cleanse themselves of their bad energy. They will convince people that if they turn away from them, and I believe that people that have like cults and stuff. See, I don't have a cult. I don't run a cult. I don't have nobody zombified. If I came on here and did certain things, y'all would be like, what's wrong with Jamila? If I came on here and said certain things about a baby or a pregnant woman, y'all be like, what's wrong with you? Jamila, what's wrong with you? We worried about you. Jamila, that's not you. Because witches historically, we were the midwives. My great grandmother, Big Mama, was a midwife. We don't hurt babies and children. Lilith, who they demonize more than anybody, that's just their interpretation of Lilith. She was a midwife. Lilith was a witch. And people be looking and you be like, what in the world? And I noticed that Jewish people have a tendency to demonize Lilith. I don't have anything against Jewish people, you know what I'm saying? But I just noticed in Jewish themed scary movies, they demonize Lilith a lot. But when you getting fed on, Lilith will cut that off real quick. If somebody's feeding off of you, just calling a Lilith right then and there will stop them for some reason. So you got to be careful with the information that you get from Google. As a witch, I feel that Lilith is a witch. She's a witch. Okay. So is that why my family and my ex-in-law, the hatred and bad intent, but every time they need a favor or want help, Ashley, can you speak it so it will happen? Sorry for so many questions. You're good. You're good. No worries. You don't have to apologize. Um, I think that I would have to read that situation, Ashley, because I don't like to condemn anybody. Because sometimes it can be one of those types of people that's in the family. You know how they say one bad apple spoils the bunch? Well, sometimes you may have somebody that marry into the family that may have that kind of attachment problem or entity attachment, or either it could be a part of who they are spiritually. So, that could be it. But typically, and people always try to label that type of person as a witch. Guys, witches don't, why would, think about it. Why would a witch need to vampire energy off of somebody? That don't, that and it's so much misinformation out there. Why would a witch or a bruja? Now I can tell you something. If a witch feels as though something has taken their energy, we know how to snatch it back. We know how to take our power back. But a authentic witch, she has no reason to siphon energy off of somebody, and they try to compare it to a newborn baby or a baby feeding off of his mother's breast. It's not the same thing. That's called nourishment for the body from the mother to the child. They have perverted everything. I swear, it really irritates me. And I'm sitting up here, y'all, when I do these rituals, I actually talk to God. That's one of the reasons why I am known for my rituals working, because I don't just do something. I sit and I take about an hour or two, or sometimes it only takes 15 minutes, depending on how busy I am. 15, 20 minutes to either speak to y'all spirits or God about y'all, or either to go into meditation to help y'all. And sometimes I sit and I ask God, I say, God, why do you allow these people? I talk to Hecate all the time. I talk to Gaia, which Gaia is God. Gaia is the god of this planet. We see her as Mother Earth. She is Hecate's, I think, her grandmother or great grandmother. I sit and I talk to Gaia and I say, Gaia, please, why do you let these people do this to people on this earth? Please do something about it. I done seen these kind of demonic people or species. I'm gonna call them a species of people. I have seen them. I've had clients that are pregnant and just seen them just feed off of the baby inside of her, feed off of his life force. The type of pain and suffering that they are causing is just astronomical. And they hide behind religion, even sometimes witchcraft. They hide behind that. And yeah, I do believe that when the doors is closed, they walk on all fours. They walk on fours. They don't stand up and walk like we do. That's why sometimes when you get that kind of entity attack or psychic attack, sometimes you'll find yourself having to be down on all fours crawling, because now you're mimicking their energy. When a baby stops crawling, they start walking, because the reason why we walk is because we are supposed our heads are supposed to be suspended up in the air. We're not animals. A lot of people try to compare us to the animal kingdom. No, animals are our friends. They are our food. They are our friends. They are our protectors. Okay. But we are not animals. We are spiritual beings. So a lot of them, their excuses like, well, and when they doing their meetings, because I've seen their meetings, guys, I've seen them. That the way that they seduce people over to it is they usually compare them people to some kind of animal, which these poor animals don't have nothing to do with it, but they use everything that they can. Okay, so this is what we like. We're like lions in the forest when we feeding and eating these people. Think of it like that. They are totally full of crap, but they will have these meetings and they will seduce people over to that, and they will put I believe that Flurburn calls it nanobites or nanotechnology or something. You know what I'm saying? Because we are the technology. We are the oldest form of technology. The human being is the oldest form of technology. Just our light energy. Not even, you ain't even got to be a witch. This is one of the reasons why I can't physically be there at their meetings. I'll never be there because I'm a witch, but my spirits let me know what they doing. And you got to draw the line. You got to put up the boundary. You got to put up the boundary. You got to say, hey, I can see what you're doing to those people, but you're not going to do it to me and mine. I see exactly what you're doing to those people, and they just ignorant as sin. They just, they just sit there. They let you feed on them. They let you feed on their children. They let you feed on their domesticated animals, their friends. They let you feed on them. I'm not gonna let you feed on nobody that I love and care about. My clients, everybody. So it just is what it is, and y'all got to be careful of them type of people. And it takes much more of a complicated ritual than cord cutting. Yeah, you do need to, that's one step of the process, but that's not the entire process. And that's just evil. That, to me, that's just evil. I'm sorry. You know, even if you were able to become some other type of spiritual being other than being a human being, which I don't, you know, a human witch for me, that's just good enough. I'm human and I'm a witch. That's good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? But when you see the devastation that they cause in people's lives, the miscarriages, you know, the infertility. Why y'all think they attacked my fertility video? It takes a lot of light energy to produce a baby in somebody's stomach, in somebody's womb. That takes a lot of energy, even if you're not a witch. That takes a lot of energy to make a baby. That's why they flagged that fertility video that I had done. Now, since when, you know, is YouTube.com trying to take women away from you know, witches helping them with their womb? They allow Queen Afua to do it. What's up with that? So it don't even make no sense for me. I don't have no fear of these people. I don't. Okay, I really don't, but it makes no sense, the things that they're doing. You know. So yeah, as a witch, you know, I can help you with your womb. They don't want they you know it just is so weird. It really is. And then when they get to being seen as the enemy, then they want to get mad at the witches. Well, it ain't our fault. You can't be trusted. Look at what you're doing. Look at the things that you are doing to people, to families. I think that's the one thing that makes God cry is when he sees the state of the family and how jacked up it is. You know what I'm saying? How, you know, and it's sad, y'all. It's really, really sad, the stuff that these people create. And I don't contend with them. I don't. They get very, very upset when you cut them off from your energy. And one of the things that we see in hoodoo, hold on. One of the things that we see in hoodoo is goofer dust. Goofer dust will definitely trip them up. But a lot of the times you just got to do that graveyard dirt ritual and they will hold on for dear life. It almost reminds you, I was watching Sleepwalkers the other night. It almost reminds you of the Sleepwalkers. Y'all ever see that Stephen King movie called The Sleepwalkers? It reminds you of that movie. And when they created the internet, oh, it was a feeding frenzy. So a lot of y'all thought, okay, I'm just gonna go put my picture up on Facebook and Instagram, and it's gonna be all good. Well, you gotta protect your image, and not just your image. And so that's the whole purpose of the whole, you know, phenomenon of narcissism and stuff. And, you know, these people doing all this weird stuff and they running around in groups and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's terrible. Terrible. And that kind of being, you know, they want to be powerful, you know what I'm saying? You know, they do have the power to sort of what do you call that when somebody can put somebody under possession. It's almost like they put you under their possession, you know, and they usually want to emulate God I believe that all of us have God's force within us. But what I want to say, oh, I'm God. No, I'm not. I'm a woman. I'm a witch. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a grandmother. I ain't God. Okay? Seriously. They don't know how to humble themselves. And they need to. For real. So y'all be careful out here, man. For real. If you are starting to get the warning signs of somebody siphoning your energy, you guys need probably something more something stronger than a core cutting. Oh, and I got the tiki torches, y'all. They had all four of them at Walmart. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's very, very dreary outside though, but the ground is wet. So I'm gonna go out there while the ground is wet and put my tiki torches out there and get set up for the Beltane celebration. Okay, so if you're not in my Beltane circle, which that's why they don't want y'all in my circles, because I'll be protecting y'all from a lot of that stuff. Because when witches are doing their rituals and spells, these people are trying to feed off of that energy. They're trying to feed off of the energy of your spells. So that's why it's important to draw a protective circle. Because and witches have been doing that since the beginning. They realized that something was trying to feed energetically off of the energy that they're harvesting. And you don't harvest energy off of a person. Y'all, what's wrong with these people? You harvest energy off of the sun, the moon, the rain, the grass, the trees. You don't harvest energy off of another person. And that's what it was all God's gift. Getting energy from the trees and the sun and the stars, that energy is never going to go out. It's everlasting, especially the energy on the earth. It keeps going, it keeps going. It's fueled by the sun. So I don't understand these people and what they doing. It's so irritating to me because I done got sick of it for real. I have. I've gotten tired of it. And so I did a protection for our circle because a lot of witches are going to be calling their ancestors. A lot of witches are going to be communing with their spirits between today and tomorrow and within the next week. And they're going to be doing spell work and things of that nature. And you got something trying to feed off of that. And they feed off of everything. They feed off of your pain. They feed off of your joy. They feed off of your sexual energy. It's all about energy for them. It's all about energy. And they want to feed off of that energy that you create from your spell workings. So, and for me, I did a ritual so that they can't, I already did the work so that they can't feed off of nothing. But I haven't thought about doing the work. In fact, I'm going to do that today. I'm going to be 100% transparent with y'all. I'm going to make sure that I do a working today to make sure that they can't feed off of my rituals. We're going to do that. We're going to do that right now within the next few minutes. What the heck? So, it just, y'all got to understand that, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. And they clearly don't have it. They clearly don't have it. I'm sorry. Like, okay, it's one thing to be inspired by somebody, but it's another thing to just take everything from them and consume everything. They're consuming people out there. They're consuming this world. They're just going around consuming everything. So, my wish is for them to just be out of here. Just go. That's one, but it's not that many of them, so it's not that big of a problem. But if it happens to you, which it's happening to a lot of people, it's happening to a lot of people. Okay. And you can't be turned into what they are. They try to confuse it with vampirism. It's not the same. It's not. They don't even act. Think about it. Do vampires behave that way? Vampires, they have a special, like, way that they carry themselves. Vampires are very prideful. They're not doing pathetic things. Vampires tend to have, that flair to them. You know what I'm saying? They're not vampires. Vampires are not pathetic like that. There just be some obvious stuff, and then they want to say they're a vamp. No, you're not a vampire. You're something different. So, and I don't even believe they are a mutated vampire. Y'all know that on TikTok, there's been a few people on TikTok that are saying that they're vampires. I was looking at it, but I'd be too busy to just sit and look at stuff like that. But I believe that vampires actually do exist. They're not consuming to the point where we having blackouts, and they'll sit up there and they'll just consume until the whole neighborhood done experience some kind of blackout. It's weird. They, and a lot of their this is a time frame for a lot of their energy harvesting rituals. So just watch out. Everybody in my circle don't have to worry about it. Okay. So, all right, guys. Hey, little one, what are you doing here? My cat. I come back upstairs and she's sitting in the bed. All right, y'all. I gotta go. So, if you feel like the cord cutting is not sufficient, in pretty much, because once you start to do graveyard work, it's they may feel desperate to where, oh my God, it's gonna kill me if I can't feed off of these people. They may start to feel that way, but you're not gonna feel that. Ow, ow. It's girl, them nails are too sharp. I gotta get you a nail clipper. Hey, Shamika. So, it's if you do that, if you do some kind of graveyard dirt ritual, uh you're it's like it cuts it completely off. It literally uh uh it literally kills their power in your life, and that's what you want. You don't want no connection with them. You don't want no connection with that. All right, y'all, I gotta go. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up. Yeah, yeah, she's sitting over here making biscuits. Well, she was making biscuits. Oh no, she's still making biscuits. Hold on. She just purring right now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I gotta get some work done. It's 8 o'clock. It's annoying as hell, man. Yeah, I feel like at some point, in one of my lifetimes, I worked full time as a witch, and it just it's a minor inconvenience. It's annoying. It's annoying. Good Lord. We call them backbiters, clout chasers is what pretty much what you dealing with. And it ain't just about social media. Because even if they're not in social media and you're not talking to these people, they're still trying to use your photograph to connect to your energy. Yeah, my grandmother's name was Lena, and that's why I got her. It took me over a month to get her, but I finally got her. Ain't you the special kitty? Mm-hmm. All right, guys, I gotta go. I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good evening. Blessings. Bye bye.